at it, it's like I see what you're saying, and it don't make no sense.
Don't make sense. It does not make sense. It does not make sense.
It's
It
like
don't
I
make
get
sense.
what you're trying to say, but it's like it's very dunce. Like you have to understand, like this really does not make sense. You're saying this
Don't make
in,
sense.
in the attempt to like save yourself, give yourself some type of an out, but it's not an out. You sound like a dumbass.
Big shot.
Hey,
Talk to him,
man.
man. Talk to these folks, man. Talk to them.
Well, we made it. And where we made it. This is 94 Feet of Life. This is the second to last show of the season. We're going to be going on break shortly. We got one more show next week, the off season, 94 Feet of off season. We're going to do the draft, free agency, trades. We're going to talk a little bit about the Olympics. We're going to talk a little bit about the WNBA because when we return in mid-September, that will be the WNBA playoff preview when we come back. We're going to take a nice break. So remember, subscribe to the YouTube, join the Facebook group, 94 Feet of Life. Now that we got the business out the way, we have our sixth new in quotation, our sixth different NBA champion in the last 6 years. The Boston Celtics, 18 rings, 18 banners in the ceiling. And for me, fellas, this was basketball justice. The best team for the last 8 months closed the deal. I think when we sat here, I don't remember our preview exactly. We can go back and watch it. I think all of us had Boston 1 or 2 in the East and a legitimate contender, and that's what they did. I think there's so many ways to look at it. The fun one, and we'll start there, has been the people who wanted to break up the Jays so bad for the last 2 years. And now, as Jason Tatum said, what they gonna say now? So, fellas,
You
let's
know the
start.
wild part.
Go ahead, Ham. You lead it off.
Did we not have like y'all remember when we did the NBA Jam
Yeah.
and an active pole style deal? And it was a straight wash. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown was the best
They won it.
fucking duo.
I think they won it. I think they won it.
It wasn't even close. That's the thing. It's like, but under this same logic, I think this was the same season when these assholes was like, it's time to break these dudes up. Nobody could come up with a legitimate basketball reason why it really made sense. The reasons that they gave, that's how front office people get lose. That's how they lose their job. For making making decisions based on the rationale that we've been reading in the comment section at 94 Feet of Life. Join us on the Facebook group. Y'all know what it is. But I ain't got go ahead, man. I'll come back to something.
I'm gonna
I'm
go to
tired.
Trav, but I want people to think about what you were trying to break up.
I think
Seven seasons,
yes.
5 conference final trips,
5.
2 NBA finals, and now a championship.
You get one.
One dude is 26. The other dude is 27. Arguably, depending on how your rankings are, they 2 of the best 15, 20 in the league, depending
20.
on how whatever you rate.
They're top 20. They're both top 20. Both
They
times.
both top 20. Jason
They're all
Tatum,
NBA performers. They're
all
all NBA.
NBA. Like they literally have done everything in this league you can together except win the chip. The last thing they've done everything else. Trav, go ahead.
I think people hear something that is like, oh my God. It's either they want to be first or they just rationally going in it. They're not even seeing the basketball truth about it. When you look at the basketball truth about this series, I think our last show, out of all the shows that we have ever done, there's other two, it may be two or other shows that we've done that I would say this last show, week before last, we hit the nail on the head on 95% of the stuff that y'all seen. 95, I give it, I put that there. It's all because we do the research and we don't listen to others that say stuff off of reactions. Hey man, it's good to listen to that 4-letter network, but also realize listen to it for what not to do or for what not to say. Listen to it in that mind frame, and you'll be all right.
So here's the thing that surprised me. We try to talk about the 95% that we got right. I think I'm gonna say 95. I might go 90 just to be on the humble side, but let's go 95.
Big shot. I'm saying 95. I watched that show 5 times. I'm gonna tell you like this: the only thing we got wrong is the number of games they was gonna take care of. Everybody picked 6 or 7.
The one thing that surprised me is I didn't think, and like Holiday, White are great perimeter defenders. They're great. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I would classify them as good defenders. So you got 4 guys who are good to great. I still thought they were going to have to double team Luka or Kyrie at some point because, Luka and Kyrie had that one game where they just go ballistic. And honestly, it never happened. They guarded them 2 dudes straight up, basically for 5 games. Now, is it helpful that you can rotate 4 different guys on them? Absolutely. But they didn't. But there wasn't a lot of traps. They didn't do a lot of blitzing on the pick and roll. They just said, "Hey,
let's stay home. Let's stay home."
I
thought that was the one part of the series. I said Boston in 7 because I just thought Luka and Kyrie would win you a game. Will win you a game each. But the way those 4 dudes guarded them without a lot of help, I thought that was a difference in the series. When Boston never had to double the entire series, that took away the lob threat. That took away PJ Washington's corner threes. But
it did. Big shot. You ain't said nothing that we said a week before last. You ain't.
I didn't think they would guard them as effectively as they did, though. To be fair,
they guarded them very well, and I remember, and again, watching the tape, watching the film that we did. Ham basically said he was like, I'm gonna go with the lateral because you presented the question of the guards guarding their big players or something else. And I basically said, I like, me personally, I would go with Drew, but I don't think they're going to do that. They started with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is just about the same height as Luka. He's just as faster. He can make Luka turn. He can make him work. Luka was calling screens, and when you call screens, what you call it, you're calling the screen on a big, but when you call a screen on the other guys, you wasn't having your way. I mean, of course, you scored 30 some points, but you took 26 to 30 attempts to get those points.
Yeah.
So that's working. Yes, they was headhunting you, which you said on the preview. They was going to headhunt Kyrie and Luka. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And when you're getting headhunted and you got to play defense, and the only defense you got is underlay, and you get dunked, you get your bigs dunked on, you get everybody dunked on by the finals MVP. If we go an hour, we'll talk about that. You get dunked on every which way. You can't stop that. It's amazing. It's amazing how good of defense they played on them, especially Kyrie.
J Ham is a basketball historian and a basketball nerd, and I say that with affection. J Ham, I thought, and this is a little thing that most people don't watch, and Trav talked about the screen. I have not seen two guards, talk about White and Holiday, get through screens, over the screen, or under the screen.
They get there
better. I've never seen two guards, and I've seen Joe Dumars and Alvin Robertson and MJ and Pippen, all the great perimeter defenders. But that skill to get through a screen or over it or around it, every time they called the screen there was no point in calling the screen. Honestly, Dallas would have been better off just letting Luka and Kyrie go one-on-one and just get the screen out of there. The screen,
what's funny? as you named them, none of those dudes you named were teammates.
Yeah.
It's like all these dudes were on other teams. We talking about a pair that's on the same squad. And then we hadn't even mentioned them yet, but we got to give Al Horford this props for the ski mask work that he was able to put down. He ain't give a shit about it. He gonna shoot his corner threes. He gonna knock them down. He gonna do everything else dirty. He gonna grab rebounds. He gonna push folks off. He gonna block shots. He gonna steal the ball. Tito gonna be up there super crunk. It is what it is, That jersey. Shout out to Tito.
They would, and what I loved about it, Jaylen Brown winning MVP. Honestly, I mean, to me, that's as you could have went old school and pulled a quarter out and just flipped it. Tails Tatum, heads Brown. Whatever one comes up, I'm fine with it.
And if the quarter had stood up, you give it a Holiday.
Right. If the quarter land on the side, give it to Holiday.
If the quarter land straight up, it's got a Holiday. That's how even it was, man. I think Jaylen Brown deserved it. Again, watching the show last week to prepare for this week, I had that all along. I didn't say it, did tell y'all, put it in the group earlier today, but I just had a feeling with Jaylen Brown taking on that task of guarding Luka, and then he turned around and was matching him, or was pointing him, made it also significant to get it. And plus, the definition of making your team better was a prime example of game 2. Jason Tatum took the ultimate sacrifice of him not making shots, giving his team the better opportunity.
Yeah.
The key word in this is opportunity. He drove the ball to the basket, drew 2, 3, however it may be, he draw and kick. And guess who the person that he was finding? Jaylen Brown. He was finding Jaylen Brown. If not, he was finding Jrue Holiday, or he was finding White. But more importantly, he was finding Jaylen Brown. He made the sacrifice for the greater good. He don't care about what people say. And he said it in his speech. Jaylen Brown said it in his speech. He said, I don't give a shit about what people say about who's better. It's all about the ultimate goal, winning the championship. He said that. So, Jaylen Brown, man, I mean, he proved my point. I seen it in 2022. 2024 is right here, man. It's right here. So, what y'all gonna say now?
And then to the Tatum side, the way he played that first half last night, that he had last night, was about as good a half as you can have. The combination, as Ham likes to call it, the floor game. But what he did last night, this is the thing, and Trav said this we watched it, kind of did a private watch along the game. It's the game I wish Paul George would have had. Jason Tatum last night just decided, I'm just gonna go to the basket as many times as allowed. Either I'm a score, I'm gonna find somebody, but I'm gonna continue to put pressure on the defense. I'm not gonna bail you out with the fadeaway jumper or a sidestep or a tough mid. You're gonna have to do something when I get there. I think he has 16 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists at the half, or something like that. But his maturity level was through the roof. We talked about Holiday. I mean, if you talk about the perfect third piece, like the NWO in 1996, who's the third man? Drew Holiday is the perfect. He's the perfect third man. And then Derek White turned into Joe Dumars. Y'all better hope these people don't get any type of real death. Because if they get like real death over this off season, because they already got the best first six. We said this in October. We said they got the best first six in the league. Nobody got a better first six. Man, y'all better hope these people don't find no real death. Mm-hmm. You better hope they don't.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's some real crazy shit, man, because it really was just their time. I mean, they didn't skip no steps. They didn't skip no steps along the way. You have to give Danny Ainge his fair share of some of the credit for at least laying the foundation. Brad a cold dude, though. I seen one dude say that Brad couldn't cut it as a coach. I was like, are you serious? For real? Okay. Even more so on that, whatever, but he can cut it upstairs, which is better. And if you want to talk shit and flex,
Yeah.
But that's just the kind of people that we dealing with on the level. It's like this. You actually tried to say that was the better move because he couldn't cut it as a coach. Like, are you fucking serious?
And Brad,
been in the NCAA championship game and the Eastern Conference Final as well.
Yeah. And Brad Stevens,
Butler, first of all.
Brad Stevens come from a management background before he got into coaching. So him going upstairs, yeah, cool.
that was a perfect match, actually. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, okay, now I get to do this from the cerebral standpoint. Oh, great, cool.
And Ham, you and we both are 40s and up, so we remember when basketball trades were basketball trades. It wasn't about moving money. Brad made basketball trades.
Right.
Derek White he upgraded. Marcus Smart was a really good player for them. Malcolm Brogdon.
He swapped out good players for better players.
He swapped out. Thank you. Good players for a better player. Brogdon and Marcus Smart are not better than Drew Holiday and Derek White.
And that's no knock.
Williams is not better.
Robert Williams is not better
Porzingis.
than Porzingis. That's it.
No. And it's no knock at those dudes because they were 2 wins away from being in the same spot just 2 years ago with those dudes.
And I'm gonna tell you this. We always talk about you got to take steps. And within winning a championship, you're going to go through those trials and tribulations.
Yeah, go through shit.
2019, what happened to Boston?
First round.
2020 in a bubble, what happened?
Second round, but they went like 7. No,
yeah,
they went to the conference finals.
They lost. They lost.
I think they went to the conference finals and lost to Miami. I think.
Yes, they did. That's exactly what happened. 21.
But they beat Toronto.
21. Right.
21. Jaylen Brown is hurt.
Jaylen Brown get hurt.
He's hurt the first. Doesn't play the playoffs.
They end up losing.
Yes, well.
22. They make it to the finals. They lost against Golden State. 23. They almost walked down a 3-0 lead.
23.
They pulled a bag of TA last year.
23. Remember 23. Jason Tatum sprains his ankle on the first play of Game
7. You see what happens? You see what happens? Each team that wins a championship are going to go through trials and tribulations, regardless of who they are. Ain't no Magic Johnsons in this. Ain't no Magic.
And even at the Magic War, he went through it too.
He had waited later because the next one they won was in the 80s.
I'm saying he was 2 wins in when they lost in '84, and they skipped Magic in the meet.
Yeah, they couldn't wait for tragic Magic.
Yeah.
And, you know what? Also, it shows you is like we talk about going back to the conversation about you got to break them up. No, your job as a GM is when you got 2 guys like that, you upgrade the pieces around them.
Mm-hmm.
You make them guys better. I got those 2. I ain't breaking those 2 up. You make them. You make the third. You make the other guys better. You make either those guys develop, or I trade for pieces that are better than them.
Well,
they were the luxury tax on doing. Right. They were paying the tax for.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get that back anyway when you playing late in the June.
Mm-hmm. If the people who watch TV shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, remember when Carlton Banks was in the weight room and he was talking about how he wanted to work out and he said he got to keep his base. Boston has to keep their base. Their base is Jason Tatum and Jaylen. You have to keep your base. Your base is happy. The pieces around you are going to help. They're going to develop. And you got 3 of the best pieces. And you got a going on 18 years because this man said he is coming back next year. Horford said he's coming back. He's working on 18 years right now. He's 17.
They got it. They probably, I think the move they got to make, the Jaylen Brown extension kicks in.
Yes.
This year, they probably re-sign Derek White. But I think they remember that Marcus Smart trade, they got draft picks.
Some folks
they got 2 draft picks.
Forever.
They find them a couple other young guys that they can develop. They right back. We got to go to the flip side is for Dallas, so we might stay a little bit tonight. We only got 2 shows left. We give y'all a little extended. I think for Dallas, it's really, really simple. I'm gonna say really simple, but I think this is another step. And Jay Ham talking about going through something. For Luka, this is your Magic '84 series. this is the series where you gonna take some heat for it. Luka's raw numbers are gonna look good, but if we're being honest, Luka didn't play well 4 out of 5 games. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. You didn't play well. And I think for me, his maturity now. We're gonna see what you do. And for me, Ham, and jump in, for me, his maturity starts in one place. And it's good old, Luka almost could go this whole summer and don't work on nothing on his game. But what Luka gonna have to work on, Luka got to get in that weight room. Luka got to get on them sand dunes. Ham is a big Martin fan. If he got to put on that Martin Lawrence metallic jumpsuit and run them laps in the 90 degrees, because to me, his defensive issues start with that.
Conditioning.
He ain't in shape.
He played a lot of basketball, but that's a long time. Playing that deep, that long. Yeah.
And he's never, 100 games. This is a long season. But I think his defensive issues start with the fact that, number one, he got this heavy offensive load, which we've talked about.
Usage.
The usage, but I don't think he's in enough shape to do both. And he's such a great offensive player. You say, well, we just live with it. But I think, to me, this is going to show his maturity now. And what type of shape does he come back in come October? What shape is he in?
You know the good thing about Dallas? The one positive thing. I think the one positive thing that Dallas has right now going for them is Kyrie is happy in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a happy Kyrie, which is happy at Dallas. And like you said, Luka maturity, what he does in the offseason is going to be key. His offense don't need no work. He need to be in that gym with Drew Holiday working on defensive slides. That's what I think.
When he move his feet, he's fine on defense. He just don't be moving his feet. He be lazy. He got lazy feet on defense.
Defensive slides, man. Defensive slides.
Yeah.
Slide from corner, get slide.
You absolutely right.
Make that man, cut that man off, just like how Jaylen Brown did him at half court.
Yeah.
Baited him. He was in the right hand. He was dribbling. Jaylen baited on his right hand and
he
cut
to
his
the spot,
off,
made him turn.
Yeah. Took his cash, dunked. It's like that. Defense is from the heart and from effort. We know he has a heart on offense, but does he have a heart on defense? He didn't show it. I'm sorry, he did not show it to me.
But he's never gonna be Kawhi. He's not gonna be prime Kawhi Leonard. He's not gonna be prime Scottie Pippen. But if he's average,
he can be presented.
He's just average.
They're like a bull when they see the red Mandador.
Yeah, what you can't be is prime Steve Nash on that end. That's what you can't be.
Trav pointed it out last night. They run that, they going at Luka. And Jaylen Brown gets the ball at like the free throw line. And he got Luka on him.
Oh my God, yes.
He said, let me get 2 steps back real quick so I can get some more runway. And then
boom, gone by.
And then he just gone.
He underlay. You cannot play defense playing underlay.
Yeah. And then we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the last guy I want to point out, And to me, this is where we talk about justice. Joe Mazzulla. You know, I talked about this. Ham had a post about this weeks and weeks ago on his personal Facebook page. I said this in the group. Coaches get better too.
Oh yeah, because I was proper Jason Kidd at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. You talked about it with Jason Kidd. Like Jason Kidd became a better head coach throughout the year.
Right.
You don't think Joe Mazzulla at 35 was gonna learn something?
The youngest one ever to win it.
35 years old, man.
Think about the circumstances. He takes the job last year, what, 3 weeks before the season starts? Udoka got suspended and fired.
Got suspended and fired. Yep.
Like 3 before the season started. And he takes the job. And gets to game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals his first year. And he was a bad coach. What?
Hey man, you just gotta shake his hand and just tell him congratulations, man. You're a 2024 NBA champion. That's all you can do. And the thing about it, he done it his way. He done it his way. He done it analytically.
Yeah, I was watching some of the interviews. They were like, watching some of the interviews, the players were like, yeah, he does this sort of strange, weird stuff, but you know, we believe in it, but he definitely does some stuff that's a little bit different. But you know, it's a young guy learning the trade at this level and has had, and now is an NBA champion at 35 years old. Like Horford is 3 years older than him.
Yes. That's crazy, man.
It's wild.
That's crazy, man. But that's basketball in these times right now, man. It's basketball in these times. But Dallas though, they need a couple more. They need another player or two that can just step up, can give you that 20-point game at times, can be consistent 15 or more. They need a guard or a forward. I prefer a forward.
I think Lively and Gafford, you can't necessarily play together against everybody. Like against Minnesota, it worked because it's Towns, Gobert, Naz Reid. Right. They can do that. You can't do that on everybody.
Right. I don't know, man. I mean, like we're going back, like we said, first things first with the leader, with the alpha dog. You got to get in the lab and get in shape. You know, going back to that, that's like super mandatory. I don't like to do the team building shit. I just listen to y'all. We all come to this. It's like, they ain't got me on payroll for this, man. I don't, just pay on.
You know what happened? Me personally, I'm more of adding than subtracting.
No,
that's how I don't know why. I mean, of course, if I know something, which we probably gonna get over in a little bit, we got a show about that probably next week about the whole free agent deal. So stay tuned for
next
that.
Week. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. I can get I understand it and I get it. Me personally, my mind does track like back in the 80s, like man, everybody stayed on the team 5-6 years, and then they leave, or they'll get one, two, they'll add or whatever. But in this NBA, it's so the teams can be totally different each and every year.
Next week we're gonna talk about the all season, but the two guys, if I'm Dallas, two guys I would look at. These ain't no star name. This ain't no big name. But I'm gonna tell you the first guy that comes to mind is Contavious Caldwell Pope. Is the first name that comes to mind. Second name that comes to mind is one of our favorites from like two years ago when we had our blind GM, Jay Ham's guy. How about no?
Oh, Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant for them is that type of, that longer, quicker, in between 3 and a 4, who can do some of that ski mask work and he can put the ball in the basket. See, one of the things that Dallas doesn't have enough of is Jay Ham. Like Lively is a ski masker. Gafford is a ski masker, but you can't really play them together. You need somebody on the perimeter with a little more, a little feisty.
You need a ski mask guy that can score. Kind of like what Denver got in Aaron Gordon. Kind of like what Boston got with Drew Holiday. And some more teams that have like those. They do the dirty work, but they also can put the ball in the basket.
But we're gonna get into that next week. Fellas, before we close this out, man, anything last words on Boston, 64 wins or 16-3 in the playoffs. Was it 16-3 or 16-2?
16-3. It's 3.
16-3. I know we don't like to compare. I think though of these last 6, we've had 6 different champs the last 6 years. I think arguably they might be the best of the last 6. I mean, we can put that in some context later, but I just think it was apropos, man. I think basketball justice, going through the steps, drafting your base, young coach. I think all of those elements, which we say that's the quote unquote, that's how it should go, it happened.
You came to the goofy people.
Yes, for the goofy people.
For the goofy people. We don't want to hear none of this bullshit about who was injured, about who wasn't available, about that. No matter. It really don't matter. We don't even want to, even if you throw the hypothetical out about Minnesota. Okay, yeah, but they didn't do their part. We can't really talk about nobody that didn't do their part.
Right.
As far as the availability goes, stop acting like that the Celtics, the 4 horsemen, and they jump these people and they injured them and they made them not, just unavailable for play. Not happening like that. Hey. It's a battle of attrition when you get to this time.
Hold on, before you go further, keep your thought. Is that what Miami did a couple years ago? Did they beat the Bucks without Giannis?
Yeah, they did.
They did. Did they beat a crippled New York team?
They did.
Did they beat
crippled?
They're more than crippled, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. But did they beat a banged up Boston team? Game 7?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit.
You know why? Because the healthiest of the best teams that's who's gonna prevail at this shit in the end. The healthiest of what's available, best available. If it's the 64 win team and they still rolling and they still up, they're gonna be on the podium. They're gonna have the beer goggles. They're gonna have all the cool shit going for them, the confetti and all that other player shit. They ain't going to sleep that night. All that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. Sometimes we had it. We don't want to hear nothing about how boring the finals was and the worst finals ever. See, when you say stuff, it was the worst finals ever. You ain't watched the NBA. I got plenty of boring finals.
Hey, let's do that. Let me tell you something. I name you some worst finals. 2007, Cavaliers Spurs.
Ooh. That was rough.
I'm still gonna take that ring because LeBron.
No,
LeBron ain't had no business beating Pistons, and he did it, and that's what happened. hey, man, stupid games. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
I give you another one. Go ahead, Ham.
I was gonna say 2009. I mean, if you just look cool and ecstatic to see Kobe win with as the alpha dog, but that jump was pretty much like
Orlando.
That was That was bad.
It was like the Lakers dominated.
That's right. Right, and that's the funny because the chat is really the Laker fans hating because the Celtics got the 18. But let's look at y'all. The Nets, both the times you played the Nets, the Lakers beat the Nets. That was bad. That was 4-0. That wasn't good. We can have fun with Allen Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue, but the reality is that was 4-1. That wasn't no fun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that also illustrates how the NBA historically has been dominated by those kind of powers. It's never really been that kind. I don't think we'd have had 6 consecutive different champions probably since the 70s. I'm just guessing.
Right, but if you look at the teams that are winning, Toronto was the 1 seed in 2019 out the East when they won it.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers were the 1 seed in 2020 in the bubble when they won it. Giannis and them 2021 was the 1 seed in the East when they won it. The Warriors were like with the 3, but they led by one of the 10 greatest players of all time. Denver was the 1 seed. Was Denver 1 or 2 last year when they won?
They were 1 seed. Denver was the best in the West.
And then the Celtics this year was the 1. And the Celtics, we said again, they was the best team all year. Like
the best team from October the 31st.
The best team. Not only is it parity, Ham, the best team is
really
winning
parity, though? Is it really parity, though?
The best team is winning it. Every year, the best team wins it.
I mean, we get that part, but it's like they win it in a dominant fashion, too, when they get in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's parity in the sense that, we got variety, but the variety is just like domination fashion. That's kind of the cool part.
I mean,
it's different because we grew up with teams repeating and three-peating and getting the 5 finals and 3, winning 3 championships in 5-6 seasons and shit like that. So it's way different. It's cool though.
Man, them days over with, man. That man ain't doing this shit no more, man.
No, they ain't doing
that shit no more. I refuse to say his name. At this time, but he ain't doing it no more. He's not doing it no more. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. He's not. I'm gonna say it so many times.
Ain't nobody gonna do it. Ain't nobody gonna do it.
The way the CBA, the way the CBA is written now, the quote unquote the super team, that day is done.
It's done.
Done. You gonna have to draft, which you're gonna talk about off season, but you got to build these teams. You just can't throw the money at it. You got to build these teams correctly. Boston, built correctly. Yeah, Dallas lost the series, but Dallas's team is built correctly for the 2 stars they got. It's just a couple little things.
They maxed out. They got to the finals as a 5 seed in the West. Right. They maxed out.
You got to give it.
They went.
They got to give them their props. We do give them props, and we're going to continue to do that. They went as a 5 seed, man. I mean, it went in their favor. All they can do is play who was on their schedule and win, and they done it.
They beat the Clip. They beat 350-win teams to get there. What you want them to do?
See, that's the thing that you got to give. I mean, we give props on losers. Why not give props on this type of loser?
Because these folks is haters. That's why they can't get no props. You want to be annoyed, man. These folks, they hate on everything,
See,
man. It's like, gee, man.
That's the thing, though, hell, man. We do. People do too much as far as they're trying to win even though they lost. And
Hatings
that's
get
the
ratings.
problem,
That's
man.
what it is, man. Hatings get ratings.
That's what. That's all.
Sad,
Right.
Haters get ratings. That may need to go on a shirt. That may need to go on a t-shirt.
You might need to get that on a t-shirt. Copyright.
Haters get
Haters
ratings.
get ratings.
That may be a new t-shirt. That's a new t-shirt. Just
Haters get
plain
ratings.
and Jane. White t-shirt. Hating is ratings. Black and white.
Right, like we're gonna get up out of here in about 5 minutes. Like,
instead of getting mad, I'm just letting y'all.
get it. Hey, listen, shout out Hayes get ratings. Just put the YouTube link on it. You put the YouTube link on the QR code on the shirt.
That's all.
Just all you gotta do. That's all we
on the
have.
shirt, man.
Like, I saw, trash talk about the 4-letter network. The caption said, "Does this performance by Luka Doncic tarnish his image?"
See,
What?
folks love to debate Big Shot.
Like,
they don't even care about being right or wrong at this point.
and it's my fault.
Just to talk.
It is my fault. I need to adjust my YouTube algorithm accordingly so that that don't come up. So I'm gonna put that on me.
Big Shot, I hate to tell you.
Bring back Denise Austin in the morning, Big Shot. Like you suggested a couple weeks ago, bring back Denise Austin, body shaping with July. Bring back the exercising people. Get these people, these debate show people, get these people off the air. This is like sad. I'm talking about reprogram the whole thing. Go get Steve Sable whole ball and just show NFL film after y'all show Sports Center. We don't even want to see get up, lay down, none of that. We sick of y'all,
But see, Big Shot algorithm, internet algorithm on YouTube is so broad, but basketball is the biggest algorithm. So he can't. He's not for the rough that. He's not for the rough that.
I know, because I've been watching all these old series back, so I don't know, but salute. We're gonna close that right here, man. Salute to Boston.
Yes.
Title number 18. Tatum and Brown. Shout out to them. I think the perseverance to stay with it, just keep fighting, man. Shout out to them. Joe Mazzulla. I'm 47. I can tell Joe Mazzulla what to do in life because he's 35 and that man already got an NBA championship.
Man, that man see us. That man gotta say yes sir or no sir.
Right, he got to say yes sir to me. All three of us. He got a chip already as a leader, man. Shout out to him. Well, listen, next week, the season finale, 94 feet of all season. Draft, trades, free agency. We're going to talk a little bit about the WNBA, the other things in the WNBA. If you think this is going to be the Caitlin Clark extravaganza, it is not going to be that. You're going to be highly disappointed. And then we're going to go on summer break. Trav in the building, Ham in the building, Big Shot, man. Shout out Coach MJ, Coach Les, G2, Jern. Oh, football heads. Views from the 22 in the Facebook group. Views from the 22 is on its way back. Training camp open in about 4 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
So all you football heads out there, get in that group, talk your stuff. Basketball.
I won't be on the Sunday show this year because I'm off on Sunday.
Man,
we gonna get Ham on the Sunday show because he no longer is gonna be working weekends. pretty soon. So, heck, we might come back on Sundays next season. Who knows? You never know what's gonna happen. Basketball for the people, by the people, signing out.
And shout out to all the viewers that view this, all the comments. I had it all for a little bit, but I see y'all and we'll address y'all as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Even if y'all ain't hating, you like the rate.
We out.